What up, Herd? Welcome to another episode of Cover Lovers, where we get to talk about this week's incentives as well as store exclusives. And joining us for the very first time here on Cover Lovers is Mr. Hyper Combo Comics. Hyper, what is going on? And thank you for coming on.
Thanks a lot. Listen, it's I've been a fan of the show, and you guys have definitely opened my eyes to some covers, good and bad. So it's always nice to be on the other side of the camera and actually kind of share the spotlight with you guys. So yeah, definitely just happy to be here.
No, man, we're looking forward to your reactions to a lot of these books and these covers. I mean, because in the chat, I mean, you are hilarious. So we're definitely looking forward to it.
So Alonso, I kind of came prepared because I mean, like I said, I've seen the show enough times that I've actually almost as a therapy, I brought this Adam Hughes cover so I can just look at it if ever I feel I need to kind of look at an actual classic. If ever you guys show me something that kind
Should
of
we all get ours?
Yeah,
As
dude,
well?
I gotta have one in my mind too because
You don't have one?
I have to close my eyes, Marilla. Like this.
Dude, buy the Mexican one. It's like $50.
Oh wait, no, I'm. Oh wait, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
it's
there.
it's like your
Yeah, I'm there. I'm gonna look
therapy.
at this instead.
Oh,
That's
I love
fine.
it.
I'll go get
It's
my.
like your therapy cover.
I'll go
it,
get
it
mine
brings you
for
back to a
dinner.
better time.
Yeah,
Is that
I
real?
like it.
this is the reprint.
Must be a real one.
Yeah, of course I do.
Oh my god, that's okay. Allie's gonna be selling it later, you guys. Don't forget.
Oh.
to
That's selling
stop
shit.
by.
You should see
I
the
mean,
stack of
this
comic
is-
boxes over there. I'm selling like 12 short boxes off.
Oh, man.
Oh my
That's-
god. All right, guys. And also with joining Hyper today, we have our fellow nerd herders. Mike, how are things going?
Things are great. It's been a dramatic comic book week if you haven't paid attention. So I may be the last person on earth wearing this hat proudly, but I'm still going to wear it proudly.
As you should, sir. As you
That's
should.
good, man.
As a longtime member doing what I do. So, but otherwise, it's been a good week. The weather finally cooled down a little bit here in Nashville, so it's not 110. It's not hotter here than it is in Arizona for the first time in like 3 weeks, which is great. So yeah, everything's going great. I'm just happy to talk some fun. I'm happy to be an old man talking about hot chicks on covers with the other three men here. So
Oh, yeah.
according to
Oh,
who
that's
is that, Ronnie?
Yes, I mean, exactly.
Oh man. What about you, Steve? How are things, man?
Oh man, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. You know, Monday Cover Lovers is a show that that you got to get really into. You got to get pumped up. This old man had to take a nap because he had a headache, but he's up and he's ready to rock. Let's talk comics. Let's talk covers. And Alonzo, I think I'm ready. I mean, I'm taking Hyper's advice. I got something nice to look at in case you take me there, dude.
Oh, yep. It's your therapy cover, right? So I
Dude.
dig it. It's like Hyper, look what you started, man. Everybody's gonna have their like therapy cover that they have. It's just like they can stare at it and be like, okay.
We should have had this from the get go, dude. Well, why is the Team Nerd Herd the package deal not talking to us? Why isn't HR talking to us about this?
Listen, you guys like through no fault of your own, you guys have shown enough covers that I kind of had to develop a coping mechanism at this point.
I love it. I love it. All right. And as always, before we get started, we get to talk about our sponsors. And of course, we are talking about cover price. Make sure to use Nerdvana 14 for 30 days of unlimited cover price for only 99 cents. Make sure to sub up. They have a lot of great stuff. Their articles are amazing, and their top 10, their retrospectives for the year and for 4 years. Definitely check them out as well. And then also Bird City Comics. Make sure to use TNH10 to save yourself 10% off of purchases over at Bird City Comics. Oh, look what Mike found.
Wow.
9.8. Did you just kiss it? Did you just kiss
He
it?
did.
It looked
He sure
I
did.
did just kiss it.
like...
I brought an extra one, Hyper, just in case that one didn't do it for me.
I mean, I guess we'll see what the night unfolds.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. And always quick shout out to our 4 horsemen. We got Uncle Rudy, Something Wong, Jana Man, Glenn 2K12. Thank you guys for making the
Right on.
chat, the community what it is. We love you guys. And also make sure to give our resident DJ Eddie a follow over at Beats by Monster. So make sure to give him a follow and let us dive into the chat. First and foremost, Mr. GT Key. How's it going? Thank you for stopping by. And Ronnie, what is going on, man? Trish, hello,
Ronnie the
hello,
Rascal.
hello. And
Which one's
Sam, I am. Yes, yes. Cover lovers for the day. And
okay?
you know what, Ronnie? If you and everybody else we'd love to have Trish on the panel. She's made a lot of guest appearances here. And what's another one? What's another one? And Trish, it looks like we're asking if you are available next week, Monday, if we'd love to have you. The door is always open. All
Oh, this is
right.
cool.
Oh, and
That's
Guess
that's
oh,
when
here
I
we
what?
should,
She
go.
said, "Hey,
that's when I
Herd.
should,
Hey, Dale. Come on."
that's when I should take the day off, I guess.
Oh,
BCCC. Oh, how dare
oh,
you? You better
That's
take a
my
drink for that.
oh, Black Crown
If I
Comics.
take the
What is
day
going
off when
on,
Trish
man?
is on, I know exactly what she's going to show everybody, and
Oh,
I'm
My
not.
Little Pony, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Lots and lots of My Little Ponies.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And yes, Hyper came prepared. Yes, he did. Oh, what is going on, Mark?
Mark Cuddy.
Oh, yes, that's right. Western Australia. Thank you for stopping by. And Bruce. Uh-oh. Made a huge. Oh, nice. I like that.
It
Way
took
to
me
go,
forever to get
Bruce.
that. It took me forever to get that cover too. In
Congrats,
in
Bruce.
full disclosure, while that says 9.8 at the top, there's no shot in hell that's actually a 9.8 inside there.
It's one
Oh.
of those.
It's one of those.
just-
But it says 9.8. It'll be a 9.8 forever, whether it really
Somebody
is or
graded
it's
that
not.
with their eyes closed.
Yep. Oh, let's see. See, Trish, Mike. Yeah, Little
Little
Pony. Yes,
pony.
yes.
Matrix
Oh
Comics.
man.
Nailed
And then
it.
Matrix
Going on.
Comics. Yo, what is going on? All
Whoa.
right, guys. Looks like we're all caught up with the chat. And as always, you know what? If there's anybody else in there, we'll definitely bring you guys up. So let us get started with this week's incentives. So here we go.
I can't bear to see.
All right. All right. And first and foremost, we have Red
Oh, right
Sonja,
off the
number
bat.
3, right off the bat. And
Damn.
let's talk with our guest first here. Hyper, of the 3, which one would you choose and why?
All right. Well, first off, I'm glad we're starting off with these bangers.
Thank you. See,
Yeah,
when you
thank
come,
you.
we get these, dude. Come on.
Man, this is actually a tough one. And for all the good reasons, actually. Shoot, you know what? If I had to pick, just because there's a bit more going on, I'm gonna go with the Baron cover. I like the whole face-to-face thing that Red Sonja is doing with that green dude right there. I just kind of like that whole that whole showdown. So I'm gonna go with the Baron.
All right. Mike?
So obviously we've already gotten the Frisson. That's an old cover reused as like an icon cover. So I'm not down for that. It's really not that hard to get the original too. So I mean, it's not like it's a $200 cover. You can go get a pretty nice copy of that cover for, I don't know what, $20 maybe, if it's even that much. I'm not sure. Beren's, I like the layout and the composition, but he just digital for me lately. And that's kind of turning me off. I love the Middleton. Love the Middleton. It is in that style of his, what I feel like are his best Poison Ivy covers and Aquaman covers. And he's translated it over here to Red Sonja. I don't need it to have Virgin version. The trade dress version is completely fine. But I'm going to say, like I always do, this is not the best cover for this book this week. The best cover for this book this week is just a regular cover. And it is.
Who is it? You can't leave us in
it is the Perillo one, who's already a master.
Yep.
Raise his game even higher. Check out the Perillo on this issue this time around, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. But as far as these go, if I'm choosing one of these, it's the Middleton, but it's probably just the trade dress version. I don't see the need for the other one. It's 1 in 30.
1 in 30.
Honestly, if I could get it for like $15,
there you go.
I might take it. And honestly, with Dynamite incentives, I might be able to do that. So 12, 15, 18 would be pushing it. Otherwise, I'm good with the cover price rate.
Okay. What about you, Steve?
Dang, well, Alonzo, you knew Hyper was coming, so you pulled out that red carpet and just threw it out there to him.
I did.
Just, this Kingpin freaking demands respect.
It better not be all downhill from here after.
No,
it might be.
Dude, Hyper told me, he's like, please don't make my
episode
the one where it goes to like I bring down the shit, man. We gotta freaking do this guy justice. All of them look great, man. I love the Jenny Frizen. It's you're gonna get that at like at $8, easy. Um, the Middleton, I think, is the winner. I do like the Barons for the contrast and just a different look. It's like she's going to war and she's not coming back, but you know she's coming back. But that Middleton, it just has that artistic touch. It's an Alonzo cover through and through. You know, two of her best friends, three if you got them. You know, and I just think this is classy. I would be paying $18 to Murillo just for the Virgin cover.
Yeah.
I do enough with the trade dress, but yeah, this is the Middleton for me is the banger.
Damn, Apollo, are you saying that the Frisson looks like panel art? Holy
Yeah,
shit.
he
I would
did.
give my left nut to have Frisson do an entire interior of Red Sonja. Holy crap.
Yes, all right, you heard this. His left nut. Okay.
Not my
But
right.
if you lose your
My
left,
right one
is
is
that
my
now your
favorite.
right or your left now?
No, my right one's got to stay.
You know what? I'm in agreement with Hyper. I like the Berens, only because like of those assets that she's got right there. I mean, it's just the perfect position for me.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next one here. We have Vampirilla versus Superpowers number 5. We have a 1 in 15 by Pascal, a 1 in 20 by Francesco, and a 1 in 25 by Rebecca. All right, Mike, of the three, which one would you choose and why?
I actually don't like any of these, to be honest with
Going
you,
on brief and see forever.
which is kind of sad. Let me just blow them up a little bit. I feel like the Rebecca Puebla the best. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just because it's a different take. It's just sort of a cool. It's like a cool concept for the costume, and it has sort of I don't know, kind of like 1920s movie star headshot kind of vibes to it, like a Lauren Bacall kind of a moment, sort of a thing, which is kind of dope to me. So I like that. It's a little overly digital for my tastes, but there's all kinds of things wrong with it, so they're a turn off for me. Whereas the Puebla has got nice lines and a cool concept. So it's the 1 in 25 for me.
Okay, all right, Steve.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with the Pueblo just because the Pasquale looks to me like kid art. It looks like the paper ran through the marker, like it was just going too much, and he had to save it. And then
When Deo does that, he actually wears a hole in the paper. He does,
all done.
Yeah.
But this would definitely not meet a refrigerator, dude. This is gonna be like, I think you really outdid yourself there, buddy. The Francesco, it just looks basic to me. I mean, how many times have I seen Vampirella holding blood in her hands? And I mean, with not a like a vampire face. I mean, she just looks like she's surprised. Right? Like she was like, "What happened?" But yeah, the Puebla is the hitter. Even to get the trade dress, save you the cash. But at 1 in 25, I mean, what's that in Dynamite covers? You know, you probably
Maybe
think that's out of steel, right?
15, $20 at
Yeah,
most.
done deal. I'd even go I like the virgin art. Just trade dress is always nice, but for me, like just a clear palette, along with traditionally seeing the art is the way to go. What do you think,
Okay.
Hyper? Talk to me.
Yep.
Look at that. Look at that Supergirl book, bro.
Not yet. I mean, it's getting there, but not yet. Listen, this is almost going to be contrary to the previous slide. This is almost going to be like a process of elimination thing for me. The the first one, the 1 in 15, it just feels a bit. It just feels a bit like a more of a concept art, like a sketch art. It doesn't really feel like a cover art, to be honest. You know, like those behind the scene DVDs where they show you like concept, like this is how the character is supposed to be. That's what it looks like. And the thing is, this might be my own like handicap, but sometimes little certain things on a cover kind of throws me off, even if the whole entire cover looks great. For me, the middle one, it's a bit of a no-no because just those Thriller hands kind of, those Michael Jackson Thriller hands kind of,
Thriller hands.
yeah, those, yeah.
I was about to do the dance, dude.
So honestly, by default, I'm going with a 1 in 25. Although she does look a bit drowsy, like she had a bit too much Benadryl or something. But so we're gonna go with the 1 in 25.
Maybe she had
Benadryl.
her fill of blood this evening.
Yeah,
Maybe.
dude. She's
She
giving
roofied her own
wino
drink.
status right now.
Blood
I
makes
did.
someone
I
drowsy, I
did.
guess.
Yeah, dude.
I saw her at the bar. I'm like, hmm.
Of course you did, Alonzo, huh?
She
Especially
does
as a
look like the
Vegas
type.
family, you lucky
She does
son of
look
a
like
gun. You.
the type at the bar that probably you would be intimidated to say hi to.
You're like, hey, how you doing? All
Yeah.
right, moving on. We have Something is Killing Children,
Ooh.
number 33. You got a 1 in 25 by Christian Ward, which you can also find as a, I think, cover C or cover D. And you have a 1 in 50 by Ariella. Hopefully I said that right. All right, Steve, of the two, which one would you choose?
With a Ward, baby. I love the way that came out. She looks busted up. She looks like she's been through many monsters, and she's in killing season right now. Um, the one on the right is just, to me, is simplistic. Um, I dig what she was trying to do. What is that, like a fingerprint of, or something, like just glops of paint? Where the Ward is just, to me, the art's just killing it. I would go the Ward. See right there, Ronnie the Rascal, Ronnie and the Rascals comics.
All right, what about you, Hyper?
Yeah, BCC.
Yeah,
Love it.
I'm gonna go with the Ward for sure. You know, I kind of made it known in your previous episodes. Like, I'm not really a big fan of covers that that don't utilize the full cover. So generally, when there's a lot of white space, I kind of find that it almost you're not getting the most out of what you can for that cover. And I get it with like to Steve's point, if it could be a fingerprint, okay, that is innovative. But I just find that more could have been done. I do like the Ward just because of that whole busted open. It has a very like there's a story behind that face, so I like it.
Okay, okay. And what about you, Mike?
Yeah, I'm with the guys. It's the Ward all day. The Kristantina one doesn't really do a whole lot for me anyway.
Hmm.
The concept, the execution is even more meh. Whereas the Ward, I like that it's very different than the B cover. Unlike, say, the Frisson ones that they've been doing, where there's like just a slight little bit of blood or like a slight color difference. This feels like a different cover, even though it's clearly the same source art. But yeah, she looks banged up and also victorious, but after a long battle. So, like I always say, if a cover makes me want to read what's in the guts, then it's good. Might bring me back. I don't really know. I haven't read the last 10 issues. I think is how far back I am now. So, but I might come back to it. But I like this one.
Dude,
It's
Ronnie,
good.
you
It's
gotta
good, not great. I
read.
don't know if I'd pay very much of a premium for it though.
I totally agree with all of you guys. That Ward is amazing. It looks like she got beat the f up, but she's the one that's standing tall.
She lived to fight another day, bro.
She
But
did. She looks.
BCC brought up a good point too, Alonso. He said that 1 in 50 feels like one of those lame tattoo exclusives
Yep.
was doing for Venom. That is
Yeah, I didn't think
that
of that.
should not be on a part of your body at all. You got one of those, you should talk to your tattoo artist and be like,
Yeah,
"What
you
the
might,
hell
you
did
may
you
want to
do to
get that
me?"
erased.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
get that work done.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. What about this one here? Make sure to get those covers, guys. Look at those covers. This is Grim number 13. We have a 1 in 10 by Zoo Orzu. And then you can get the cover B as well if you don't like the Virgin variant, or 1 in 25 by Cully Hammer. All right, Hyper. Which is it?
Yeah, listen, that 1 in 10 kind of blows that 1 in 25 out of the water, in my opinion. The 1 in 25 just feels I don't know. It's something about the colors and all that. It just feels a bit flat to me as a cover. The 1 in 10, I like that whole skull kind of transposed with the whole gated fence and all that, and it just it almost feels like that's part of her outfit kind of situation. So I do like the whole like artistic take that Orzu took with the 1 in 10, and it's kind of funny. That's the lower ratio between the two. So ironically, I actually
It's
would go with
Hanoi
that one.
Rocks, Apollo. It's the Hanoi Rocks
Oh, okay, I was like it's like
cover.
a Rocky Horror Picture
Sorry.
homage.
Yeah, it's Hanoi
That's okay.
Hanoi Rocks is the name of the band that it's homaging.
Oh, but yeah,
I'm a hopeless 80s glam. That's bad. I know, but I can't help myself. The fact that I even know what that's homaging is ridiculous.
Dude, I was gonna say I like that Rocky Horror Picture cover. I would have been totally wrong. Way off.
Yep. All right. So Hyper, you all done? You picked
I'm sorry.
the 1 in 10.
1 in 10. I'm going with the 1 in 10.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, Mike.
You're in, buddy.
Sorry. I
He's
didn't
really
mean to
taking a
interrupt.
deep look in this. I mean, he's
No, I
like,
just well, I mean, because I'm such a glam enthusiast, I want to go with the Hanoi Rocks one, but I hate it. There's a line. Do you remember the line of comics that tell the stories of rock bands? Have you seen those? There's like a Van Halen one, a Led Zeppelin one, there might be an Aerosmith one, whatever. Kind of reminds me of one of those, but I just don't like it. But I also don't really love the Zoo Orzu. That's not my favorite Orzu that I've seen, which is kind of a shame. Although I do kind of like the morphing into the skull. That's sort of cool.
Yeah.
Man, I think I might have to go with the Hanoi Rocks one, but that's clearly a bias just because I'm that small mark for that cover, and it's doing its job. Kind of, it's so bad that it works.
You got to
all
go
right.
dressed up as glam, picking that sucker up. You
Yeah.
get it, dude. And play
right.
White. Here I go again on my own.
Oh wow! Yeah,
Wow.
sing
But I
it,
think
man.
yeah. No.
I
All
don't
right,
really
Steve.
love either cover, but if I have to choose, I like the deep cut from Color.
Okay. All right, Steve. Which one's your choice?
For me, dude, I'm gonna side with Hyper on this one just because I love Zoo Orzu. I love her art. I like the abstract look of things that she brings to the table. Um, this cover isn't one of her best though. I'm used to seeing a little more. Like Hyper said, I like the transition into the skull, and even more so if you look towards the bottom, you see like uh stone, like hinges from like a graveyard. So I like that contrast as well. I'm not shaking a finger at the Grim Rocks either. I think that looks dope. I like the girl in the back. It kind of reminds me of Clockwork Orange in
Hmm.
some sense. That little face that she has if she would have had that paint. But yeah, for 1 in 10, is Zoo or Zoo can take my money all day long.
All right. All right. What about this one here? This I think might be Hyper's
Yeah,
favorite of the week. We have
let's do
Alexander Lozano, and this is a 1 in 25 from Batman Superman World's Finest number 19. You know what? Let's start off with Mike.
I was so hoping that you'd have this in here. There's so much to unpack on
To
this
love,
cover.
right? To love.
It's just I love it. I really love it. It's bold. It's controversial in some ways. It's a ballsy cover, and it's really really well done. um, yeah, there. So I love the colors. I love the whole concept of I get Joker. Is it the Joker daughter? Maybe. I mean, I'm not really sure exactly. I'm not reading this, so I'm not really sure. But I'm assuming it's just Joker dressed up as all this. I don't know, man. The off the shoulder flash dance thing
Of
is
course, dude.
hysterical. I mean, just all of it is it's great. I mean, it's I don't even really know how to say it. I love how bold and just silly, but also serious and funny as hell, colorful, really well rendered,
Almost horrifying in some sense.
great. I kind of want one of these actually.
All right. What about you, Steve?
I think Big Rob would like this color for that purple smear against the wall. It should be blood. Yeah, I'm digging the concept. I like the color usage. It's like a take between like it kind of reminds me of an old Obey shirt. There's an old Obey shirt that was like orange that kind of like collaged into like he was hugging like a girl in like a kimono, but the kimono was like a mixture of like elements. So I dig that. And the cross between what Superman or Bizarro, Joker, Batman, along with that Emerald crowbar or Ivy crowbar. Um, it's just for 1 in 25, and I'm not really a DC reader at this moment. Only like Sandman covers that I'd save myself the 1 in 25. I mean, right now I was looking at Vampirella just to get that look out of my face. Damn it!
All right. Hyper.
I mean, I'm not hating on it or anything. I was actually going to ask it because I'm not really reading World's Finest if this is related to a particular character, or if this is just an artist depiction. It is different. And I do like and you know,
78. What up, baby?
and I did mention before how I do like artists that utilize all the covers. So I do like I give him props for that. Um, Personally, like Steve, I don't know if this is something that I would grab, especially on a 1 in 25. But I'm not gonna knock anyone that does grab it. It does kind of look like the Batman maybe is trying to catch an Uber and he just didn't finish getting dressed or something. I don't know.
Dude, you're not lying. Somewhere in West LA, trying
Yes.
getting a taxi.
Yep. I just like that he has this his finger right here cut off to he can do a little extra something something later.
Dang, dude.
No, it's so that it registers on his cell phone. Come on now.
Oh, really? He's not gonna do one of these? Like,
Yeah, with his gloves on, he can't scroll, man.
oh, that's true. That is true.
Serves him right.
I'm
All
taking
right.
this as Joker making fun of all the superheroes, but
I
Yeah.
just like his butterfly cape. That's what I like. It's very flamboyant.
in a
I
very
love it.
flamboyant,
Very fashion forward, if you would.
very flamboyant way.
It's almost like he
Yes.
should be at a cabaret.
Yes,
That,
exactly.
or he should be wooing like freaking Ric Flair on the wrestling ring.
Woo!
I just
One of
love
the-
how like ballsy this cover is.
Yeah. Terry Floyd said this is LA. Or
I wouldn't pay a
this is
premium.
somewhere in Florida.
Oh man.
Oh man.
By the way, the
Oh.
Hanoi Rocks album that was homaging was Two Steps from the Move.
Oh, 2 steps.
If anyone gives a shit besides me.
All right. Thanks for that, Mike. That's for Apollo. There you go. All right. Well, we have Wolverine number 37, 1 in 25 by Sway. Steve.
Yeah, dude. As many times as I see Wolverine covers and what he's supposed to be doing, I mean, it's really hard to get tired of that. I mean, in certain circumstances, like like I talk about other characters being like, how many times could you see Supergirl flying around just in a sexy or Power Girl? This is just Wolverine getting Wolverine, and Sway, dude. I dig Sway's art. This cover in general, I like it. I like the how the light's peering in right from under his armpit or his chest per se. Um, the landscaping. I mean, he just killed the cover. Wolverine's supposed to be this short 5'4", 4'11", or whatever guy that's about to run chaos up somebody's rear end, and it looks like he's about to do it. So I'm down for this cover. 1 in 25. Call me up, bartender.
All right. What about you, Hyper?
All right, Steve. I hope we can still be friends because I'm gonna actually have to disagree with you. Um,
Sure, man.
Listen,
It'll be
there's nothing inherently wrong about the cover per se, but I just find that for
We can
a
still be friends.
ratio, I just find this
He's
cover is a
crying.
bit.
Look what you did to Steve, Hyper.
Why?
Listen. I'm actually not dogging on the cover, but I just find that for a 1 in 25, this is a bit too pedestrian for me. Especially, I think also the fact that I'm a Wolverine fan and I've been spoiled, I guess, by past Wolverine, a lot better Wolverine covers than this. So I guess my expectation on some of these ratio, especially it's a 1 in 25. If this was like a cover beat, sure. But a 1 in 25, I expected a bit more. I kind of found that this is playing it a bit too safe. I do like the lighting in the back. I do like that whole sunlight
Mhm.
situation going behind Wolverine. But I just find that, like, if you were to tell me this was a cover B, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I wouldn't have thought otherwise. Like, certain covers you can say, oh, yeah, this should have been a ratio. This is not it.
Okay.
So.
All right, Mike.
I can't say it any better than that. That is absolutely perfect description. It's just an okay cover. I would have thought Sway would want to knock a Wolverine cover out of the park, finally getting something like this to do, and he just doesn't on this one. It's just meh. B cover level, sure. Ratio level, no way.
All right, guys.
Wow. All right.
Sorry, Steve.
I'm
Don't
okay.
take it personal, Steve.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
All right.
Art is subjective, right? There's no
That's
artist that got hurt in this, except for me.
At least
Not yet. Give us
not
time.
yet. Not yet.
I haven't looked at my cover yet, so we're still good.
All right, all right.
I did.
All right, here we go. How about
Oh,
this?
fuck, here we go.
Catwoman number 57, a 1 in 25 by Rianne Gonzalez. Hyper. Steve's looking at his cover already.
I think all three of us did. Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
Oh man, everybody's looking, enjoying their covers. Oh, good,
Listen,
good, good, good. Way to go,
Touche.
gentlemen.
Batman looks as
Pretty
stiff as
good.
this Wolverine figure right here.
It's not
I've
going
had
nowhere.
Uh,
I don't know. Look,
10% stiff. Everybody drink.
Yeah.
wait, was that the drinking game? Sorry.
No, I just made it up.
Look, I kind of find certain artists' art lends well to certain properties. I did like what she was doing with the Power Rangers situation. I haven't really been a fan of what she's been doing in the big two, to be honest. And this cover is no different. I mean, Catwoman looks all right, but I don't know. I just the whole the way she drew Batman, and there's something about how he looks like he's
Sorry,
kind of
Sony.
corpsing. I don't know. There's no life in Batman. It just feels very static. I don't know how to put it, but yeah, it's a pass for me.
All right, what about you, Mike?
What's with Snarf? That's a strange way to draw a cat.
Maybe it's a Pokemon.
I don't know. This isn't my least favorite Gonzalez cover, but there's weird choices. It looks like her legs looks like she drew it off an action figure. Like those are action figure hinges
Mm-hmm.
at her
Pretty
hips.
wonky.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not sexy. It's also not cute. It's I realize it's stylized. I get that, but it just doesn't do what I think a cover like the static nature of it. It just sort of I don't know. There's no dynamic quality to it. I'm not a huge fan of her art anyway. We all know that, but this isn't my least favorite of her pieces, but because the layout isn't bad, but and the colors are kind of cool. I sort of also like the way she renders things because it's unique. Nobody else really looks like this, but yeah, there's just too many weird choices that don't work for me. So I'm gonna pass.
Okay.
No, I don't like it either, buddy.
Oh, you
Dale,
heard it
so
here
I don't
too,
like it.
guys. Deo gives
is
this an
spoken,
F
dude.
minus, from Deo. All right, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I dig Ryan Gonzalez. I think she's a sweet person, but this just isn't doing it for me, man. I mean, it's too cute. Like I'm okay with chibi style art, and I'm okay with her art. I do think that she does have a niche, and she does do some covers well and some covers justice. This is just not one of them. Yeah, Batman looks like he's stuck, and he's a master of all situation, man. To be able to get out of that, he's like, I guess it looks like he's roped into taking one of those prom pictures, and he didn't want to be there. Like, it's just, yeah, I can't.
My mom made me ask her. I don't know.
Yeah, she says she likes me, but I don't know.
She said I had to bring photos home.
Yeah, this is not the one. No.
Oh man. All right. You know what? If Jeff were here, Jeff would love this cover. He'd own
You
like
sure?
yes,
Batman
he'd
looks
own
like a
5
Funko.
of
That's
these.
why.
Oh, true,
It
true,
looks
true.
like a
Yeah.
Funko.
Make
He's
it
like, I need a
good.
pop protector.
Just because Jeff would buy it doesn't make it good.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Sorry, Jeff. All right. How about this one here? We have Harley Quinn, Black, White, Red, number 3, 1 in 25 by Sanford Green. All right. Steve.
All right, Alonso, I see what you're doing now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've been digging Sanford Green's art for quite some time. I like his hip hop renditions, like in Bitterroot, and like the movie takes on Bitterroot. Um, Also, like just recently, he started doing Scatario like statues like with hip hop and stuff like that. He's did the Nas artwork. He's doing the Rakim artwork. So to me, I'm a fan of Sanford Greens. I dig this cover. It looks like Harley being in Fight Club, man. Like she's gonna knuckle up and beat some ass. Um, this to me is a winner. I would be buying this all day. Like Ronnie said, buy this every day, all day long, every day, twice on Sunday. I'm in.
All
Sanford
right.
Green, holla at your boy.
All right, Hyper.
So okay, so I am a fan of Sanford Green's art, like especially from his Bitterroot days, and he actually did a ratio
Yep.
for one of the TMNT Street Fighters, which I did like. Um, I do like that this is different, and I do like the whole Harley with the brass knucks situation going on. again, like I mentioned before, it's just the little things that kind of sometimes throws me off. It's the schnoz and the lips from Harley that kind of, I don't know. It's that's the only little thing that I just have to nitpick. But other than that, it's a fine cover. I'm trying to kind of toe the line on this one, but I don't hate it, but I can't say I would pick this one up.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Mike?
I'm with Terry Floyd in the chat on this one. When I first saw it, I didn't like it, and then the more I looked at it, the more I realized that I do like it. And the reason why I like it is the same reason why I like Sienkiewicz, which is that when the line work and the actual it sort of elicits some kind of emotion in me, like that there's movement to it, there's grit, there's like some, I don't know, there's some feeling, then it feels like art to me, and it moves me a little bit. I don't really care all that much for Harley overall. I wouldn't normally, care for stuff for the subject matter. I do like Green's art. This is different for him. I sort of like the snarl on her face, kind of street, which is kind of cool, which works with the brass knuckles and everything. It's got some I don't know what the word is exactly. Just grit is the best word I can come up with. There's a cool feeling to it, which makes me
Some
like it.
ruggedness.
Yeah, rugged. That's a great word for it. I wouldn't pay very much of a ratio in what do you call it? Yeah, whatever that is. I wouldn't pay a whole lot of extra for this one, but I might if I could get it cheap because I just think it's cool and different.
You know,
Not great, but good.
the other thing, Mike, sorry to cut you off, is um dude, I was a fan of Pippi Longstocking, like those old films of Pippi Longstocking. She kind of looks like Pippi Longstocking to me in some
What, the
sense.
hood version of Pippi Longstocking? You
Yeah,
mean?
There you go.
exactly.
The one that could get it done, Hyper. The
Yeah,
one that
that's
could
right.
get it done. You
I,
know,
I
where
was gonna
there's a Wendy's, there's a way. Okay, she
I was
beat
gonna say
Wendy's
she
ass.
looks I was gonna say she looks more like one of the loading screens on one of the GTA games.
Oh yes.
I can't even
Yes.
unsee that.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh dear God.
This cover has some testicular fortitude. Yes. Yes, it does.
To it, as Mick Foley would say, "Yeah, buddy." There you go. Don't
Oh
forget,
my
mark your
goodness. Oh my
calendars.
goodness. All right, let's move on. On to the next one here. We got Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 38, 1 in 25 by Bjorn Barends. Mike?
This is tough. This is getting borderline photo realistic quality, which is where I start to not like covers. I mean, I want art on my covers. I don't want someone's photograph on there. So I don't buy cosplay covers and those kind of pieces of nonsense. And this is where like the digital line, this is the other place, which is that if a digital piece is too realistic, then I'll just go watch the damn movie. Like I don't really need a cover to do that for me. So while it's cool and it has sort of a 3-dimensional feel to it, it almost just looks like a photograph of an action figure, which is kind of doesn't do it for me at the end of the day. So I think he took it just almost a little bit too far in the realism.
Okay.
So it's a no. It's a pass for me.
All right, Hyper?
Yeah, I think Trish kind of said it best. This almost looks like a screenshot that you would take from like a PS5 video game. Yeah, I mean, look, I do like the luminous, whatever you call it, of the lightsabers on the cover, but
Luminosity.
there you go, luminosity. Thank you. Other than that, as a cover, I don't know, because yeah, it's again, this falls in that like it's a great cover B, but I don't know if I pay 1 in 25 for this. Nothing inherently wrong with the cover, but it's just yeah, it does start bordering in that whole AI-esque kind of, and I'm not accusing him of doing AI, but it just kind of in that AI-esque kind of territory.
Sheena, what's going on? Inja and Sheena, Melon and a manga in the
All right.
building.
All right, Steve, what about you?
Yeah, too digital for me, man. I mean, knowing Bjorn can do better, like and better art is how we've seen him when he first came into the industry and he was doing these covers. it's just night and day. Too digital for me. Um, I will say, like, I just want to hear him say General Kenobi. And the fact that
Nice.
does look like an action figure shot, I prefer to see somebody from the toy community do this better than
Yeah,
what
I was
Bjorn
actually going
did.
to say that. Remember
Yeah.
what were those Poison Ivy covers we were looking at a couple of weeks ago, where
Uh,
the woman set up those still life things?
yes,
Yes.
just like that. I mean, because
That would be cool, and then
dude,
take a
there
photo of that. And if you want to kind of mess with it a little bit, fine. But
my
um,
man 78 does it best as well. I mean, there's a lot of guys in the toy community that just
Yep.
nail shots that I don't feel like even get their shine. But I mean, it's
yeah,
hard to take an action figure. It's hard to make it look real. It's harder to even take the picture and then to set it up, with the smoke kind of in the background too. I mean, they nail everything. It's crazy.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know
I
you
would much
would,
prefer
78,
that.
and he
That
would
would,
crush it because my
that'd
man's
be
been
cool.
on fire lately, and he got two dioramas coming. Jesus.
All right. All right. Hopefully this next cover will do it for you guys. Dark X-Men #2, 1 in 25 by Lobos. All right, Hyper.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling this one. Yeah, it's I like everything that's going on with just the background, little what do you call those gargoyle gremlin things, and this and the fact that it's almost like it's kind of like working her way up her arm kind of situation, like even though her arm's kind of like buried in it. And yeah, listen, it's a great cover and not too much of that wasted space that I was talking about. And yeah, this would definitely be something that I would pay ratio for.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, I like it too. Although I have been giving Lobo some props for stepping away lately, and I obviously really loved that Nort's illustrated swimsuit issue Wonder Woman thing. This one feels like he's gone back to the Hughes thing a little bit, which is my one sort of I don't know nitpick of it. But otherwise, I think it's a great cover. Kind of a sucker for Madeline Pryor covers anyway, so that's sort of helpful. I also like the gargoyle things as well. That's just really cool. Look on her face is great. She's sexy. Cool layout. All the thousands of trade dress pieces seem to work on this cover, which is rare for X-Men stuff. Just way too many X's everywhere. I don't know why they need to put that much crap on these things, but this might have been nice as a Virgin cover. But I like this one.
And Steve.
1,000 times yes on this. 100%. Lobos knocked it out the park. I actually, Kenneth Bird, the Bird's the word is in the building. What's up, brother? Um, I love Lobos' art. I love that he does take impressionism from, or he just has this impressionistic look for Adam Hughes art, and has an appreciation for it. Definitely knows, his history. So this is just a knockout the park, man. I want to get this, and I wasn't even planning on getting a ratio. So now I got to thank you, Alonzo. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
And this is all Alonzo approved. I already know.
Oh,
I
no doubt. He bought
I I
12.
I
Dirty
like this like
birdie.
I love this like sexy look she has on that face. That eye. I mean, just
Yeah.
does everything. And that
It
little like
says
smirk.
like it says like
Oof.
I'm here to party. Are you? And then I'm over here like,
Who me?
It,
uh,
it's a
yeah,
lot better
yeah,
than
yeah.
a sleepy Vampirella look that we saw like
Already
earlier
met
on.
him. Already met him, Ronnie. It was like hearing
Oh,
angels sing
well,
in the background in a Sistine Chapel, Ronnie.
that's
Let me
right.
tell you.
You know what? And that does it for the incentives. Like
Wow.
we went
Whoa.
through that really quickly. Thank you, gentlemen. And
We
we
got
did
hyper
take a lot
combo in the
out.
building. You already know hyper
That's because
things are
we
gonna
had
happen.
I took a lot out because I know that
good covers this
Hyper.
time.
I wanted to make sure that Hyper, feels comfortable here, in this safe space. Because there was a lot of other incentives that were like, "Whoo, my
Man, if he
goodness!"
had to pick up that cover all show, Alonso, you and I were gonna have an ear bashing after.
I know.
We were like, what is this, man? I gotta talk
All
to you
right.
guys.
All right. So thanks, guys, for making it through the incentives. Thank you, chat. Now on to the store exclusive. So we had one Lobos, and now we have another Lobos. So I'm going to make you guys choose because you can find
Ooh.
both of these here
I don't
at
think we do
Bird
this
City
thing.
Comics or Hive Comics. We have Zatanna #15. We have the Lobos version. which is LE of 1000 with a cost of $30, or the Ariel Diaz version, which is an LE 1500 with a cost of $20. So, as our guest, Hyper, you get to pick and let us know why.
Shoot. This is actually a good problem to have because I actually like both these covers, and I'm actually a sucker for covers that has like where it feels like there's a lot of light on some of the art, like especially like the star on the logos feels like it kind of pops. I'm gonna go ultimately with the Diaz one because I just like the hair to face thing. I do like it a bit better on the Diaz than I do on the Lobos.
Mhm.
But honestly, both covers are pretty cool. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Diaz, and I also just like the color, uh, just the blue and the white and all that, and the whole Z on the Zatanna going on. So yeah, for those reasons, I'm gonna go with the Diaz.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, I have the same dilemma. I like both covers, but there's some things I have some things that don't work for me on the Lobos this time. Um, there's sort of like this squashed feeling to the head or something. I'm not really sure why that is because when I zoom in, I don't feel that. But when I look at it as a full composition,
Maybe
I
that's
feel
a
this
full
sort of
head of hair.
squashed
That's why.
head thing. And maybe that's it. Maybe the hair is on a weird angle or something for me. It doesn't ruin the cover, that's for sure. It's a beautiful cover anyway. And I do like the dimensions of it and some of the depth because of the stars. I'm also a sucker for the fishnets on Zatanna, and she doesn't have those on the Diaz. But again, like Hyper, ultimately, I like the Diaz better. I like the light on it. I like the colors. It reads more as Zatanna to me overall, and it doesn't have that. There's nothing that's sort of off-putting about it. I think it's just a beautiful cover.
Okay.
My only nitpick might be, but but otherwise, I think it's a beautiful. I think they're both great covers, but I like the Diaz just a little bit more.
Okay. All right, Steve.
Dude, I'm gonna agree with on both of these guys, man. I would go with the Diaz just for the color, uh, the touch of color and light, the mystical effect of it all. It kind of reminds me of like a time machine, like taking like Lobos looks a little more of an older bit, an older callback. The hair is messed up. I mean, you know what I would have liked to have seen? Like bits of space in the hair, like stars in the hair, like a universe outside of that. Um, that
Yeah,
would have probably just had a more artistic touch to it. Although, like the head, again, the head looks off, but it kind of fills in with the hair, that wild hair of hers. The fishnet thing is beautiful. Dear God, amen. And but oh yeah, ultimately, I think that Diaz just is just a better look. She did a better job on this cover, and then the trade dress doesn't even really kill it for me. I think it fits perfect.
All right. And of course, you can use TNH10 to save yourself 10%. So make sure you head on over to Bird City Comics.
Oh yeah, even better.
Yep.
are they
All
doing
right,
any kind of a
guys.
package for the two of them?
They do. So you can actually get them both together at, I think it's 40
40?
$40, I think.
Yeah,
That's not
that'd be
bad.
great.
Yep.
Volchi
Yeah,
said pass two times. He's not even double looking. He's looking at his cover, Alonzo.
I know. All right. How about this one here? From also from Bird City and Hive Comics. It is Hack Slash Back to School #1 by Anna Marcano with an LE of 500 and a cost of $20, and it is homaging the Adam Hughes Harley Quinn #1. All right, Mike.
so it's not a heavy homage because I think part of this cover is so delectable is that it's sort of I don't know, like simply rendered almost like concept art, but in such a sort of beautifully finished way. There's just something so unique about that. So the hack slash doesn't like just try to copy it. I think it's trying to do something very nice. This obviously is going to appeal to a lot of collectors that like bondage covers, that like the whole sort of like, I don't know, sort of sexy goth thing. Oh, there hack slash is weird for me. I'm really hit or miss on the whole series is going back. They're sexy covers, but they're also like a little bit. They make me a little uncomfortable too. This one's sort of there, along with that kind of a schoolgirly kind of a feel to it, which bothers me a bit. Um, especially with the bondage aspect and stuff. So, not that I'm being a prude about it. Obviously, if anyone knows me, you know that I'm not. But there's just something a little bit that unsettles me about it. So as a result, I don't love it. But it's a really nice piece, and for those that like this kind of stuff, it's just not for me.
Okay. Steve?
Yeah, so I just got introduced to Anna Marcano's work just this week. I saw Bird City post this up. I knew it was after the homage of the great Adam Hughes. I dig the art. I actually think there's really nothing wrong with it. It's looks pretty cool. Um, but I mean, if we have to circle back and go Zatanna, I'd probably peep those Zatanna covers versus this. I'm not saying that I don't like it, but there's just so many covers that are out incentive wise and store exclusive wise that this one would be a pass for me. But
Okay.
if I did, I use TNH 10. I tell you that much.
Nah.
That'll save you off that $20. Um, but yeah, it looks cool. I dig it. I dig what she was doing. I dig that she homaged um, the older Harley Quinn cover. Just not a buy for me.
Okay.
And if 500 is limited too, so that's always nice. I mean,
Okay, so the just to answer that question, it's a good question. Marvel and DC require 3,000, 1,000 print runs. So when we go nuts about the lies about print runs on Marvel and DC books, it's because people aren't reporting 3,000, 1,000, and we don't see anybody burning books or ripping them in half or throwing them in the trash. But the independents, some will allow as few as 250. Like Archie will allow 250. Um, Boom
Boom's usually
and
like
other
500.
companies, this is a legitimate print run. Yeah, I think Image might allow 500, or maybe it's 1,000 for Image. I forget, but yeah, it's a really good question. I think a lot of people aren't aware of the thresholds for those things, and that's how they do them.
Who publishes Hack Slash?
Oh
Is it
man,
an
I'm trying to
IDW title
remember.
or an Image?
I think it was
It was
like Kitchen
it was
Sink
like,
or something weird.
yeah, it was like
Trisha saying,
Devil's
Devil's
Due,
Due.
and that's like Image Comics.
Yeah.
okay. Trisha saying that usually there's a minimum of 1,000, but she says Image does 500.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that piece of
Okay. Yeah.
information. Great question, Volsi. All right,
Yeah. Great
Hyper.
question.
Well, listen. As far as homages go, I like the fact that you don't actually see that Adam Hughes ratio cover being homaged to death, so it has that going for it. Um, and look, right off the bat, I am a sucker when good lighting is done, so I do like the whole light hitting the floor aspect of the cover. So I like that, and I do like the whole story behind the cover. Like I don't know anything about this property hack and slash, but just looking at the cover, it almost feels like this girl clearly has a high body count, so she had to be tied up.
Mhm.
Um, in terms of would I personally buy it? Not really, because it's not really my bag, these kind of covers, but I like if someone showed this to me and said that they, pay $20 for it, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's not a bad buy.
Okay. All right. Thanks, gentlemen. Moving on to the next one here. We have Madame Satan, Hell or Earth #1, and this is by Joseph Schmalke. And you can find this at
Mhm.
Rabbit Comics. LE, I have no idea, but it's only going to cost you $10. Steve.
Yeah, dude, this cover is killer, bro. Just old like movie poster kind of homaging like one of those old horror books that you see like with the cover. Love the color usage of that red. It just pops to me. She's got that power stance going, and Madam Satan just kind of causing hell on earth. I mean, just the title speaks for itself. Um, yeah, I mean, we're in a Hollywood Halloween type of moving forward, man, and I'm feeling it. This is gives me all the vibes. $10, cheap, doesn't break the bank. Let's do it.
All right. Hyper.
Yeah, actually, some of those points that Steve mentioned it was actually what I was going to bring up. It does have that vintage horror esque poster feel to it, so I like that, and I feel that the trade dress adds to the cover. I know sometimes, like, and I've kind of harped on it, where sometimes you're almost better off leaving the trade dress than doing a virgin copy. And in this case, it's almost like the trade dress adds to this cover, and yeah, $10, honestly, um, it's definitely not going to break the bank. So I would not be opposed to picking this one up. Yeah.
So just really quickly, Kuiper, because you've mentioned it through the show that
Mhm.
you kind of don't like covers that have like this white space, or that there's art doesn't fill the entire cover here.
Yeah.
You're okay with this one?
This one I'm okay with because like the slide that you showed me before with that whole fingerprint situation, it was like the whole white kind of like like engulfed the cover. I find where in this case it's almost like there's some stuff going on in the bottom, and then it's not so much. It doesn't feel like red is completely engulfing the cover. It's just
Hmm.
kind of in the center. Whereas that fingerprint cover that you showed me, it felt like the image is there, and then you just have a whole bunch of white around. So just kind of it feels almost undone, in my opinion.
All right. And this is sold at Rabbit Comics.
Yeah,
All
this
right,
is just
Mike.
I love it. I mean, I'm a sucker for Archie stuff, especially Archie horror, but the layout on this is great. The colors are great. The vintage feel of it is great. I love that it's simplistic. The trade dress makes sense. Like the whole cover is just a really great composition for a property that I also gives me all the Halloween feels that I want. And it's $10. Like this, if there's 50,000 of these, it's worth $10. That's to me, that's like cover price plus shipping. So I mean, it's hard to go wrong with that. This is a really good cover. I will say that there is also a really good regular cover for this, which is by damn it, Sue Lee, which you also might, if you like this cover, you'll like that one too. It's similar style
Schmalky is very good at
and
what he
vein,
does. Cheap enough to buy.
but that's a
You
cool one too.
guessed.
So I really dig this cover a lot for all of the things, not only the cover itself, but also the price point.
Yeah, killed it.
All right.
Home run.
What about this one here? Too bad Big Rob isn't here, but this is
Oh,
Transformers #1 by Maria Wolf that you can find over at Wanted Comics. The set, which comes with the trade Virgin variant and also a foil, is $50. And I know we have a Transformer fan here. I think Hyper, right?
No, actually, I'm not the biggest Transformer. I was actually
No.
gonna
Okay.
open
All
my.
right.
I
looking.
have some Transformer comics, but I wouldn't say like I'm like an aficionado of Transformers.
I was gonna say. I think you just unmade him a Transformer fan.
Okay. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, the Apollo Crews nailed it.
Big Rob. Yeah. This is definitely Big
He's
Rob.
a
That's for sure.
homer for her.
All right. So go ahead, Mike.
Definitely not my least favorite Maria Wolf cover. You know me; I'm usually pretty brutal on Maria Wolf. I think she really overdoes stuff, and that's usually a problem. This one isn't overdone, but I agree with Trish in the chat. In the chat, there's some really wonky stuff going on, like his shoulder, whatever cannon is weird. It's straight like a weird almost curve to it, and there's some weird. I don't know it. I get again that it's stylized, but this is not a style for me. I'm just not a wolf person. I do like Transformers, but I'm telling you, it's really hard to beat that RC cover from a couple of
Oh
weeks
yeah.
ago. That's still
Jeez.
my choice. That or the regular Optimus Prime cover, which is also good. But yeah, I mean, this is close. This is almost good. Her style almost works for this.
Almost good.
Well, I mean, it's almost. I shouldn't say it like that. Her style almost works for this. Like if you watch the Netflix of Transformer stuff that came out a couple of years ago, whatever those are. I forget what those are called now. That just escaped me. Where they're all kind of beaten up and dirty.
Hmm.
Her style kind of works in that way, and I don't mind it, but this particular piece doesn't quite do it for me. I don't really know what it is. The colors are cool. I like, of course, I love Soundwave, but yeah, this is a pass for me too.
Okay. All right. What about you, Hyper?
I mean, listen, for Transformers, this cover looks like this dude is pretty limber. Um,
Mm.
look, this is until Mike pointed out, I didn't really notice it, and honestly, this is one of those covers where I can't remember which one. Like, I can't remember. You mentioned a cover where the more you look at it, the more you enjoy it. For me, it's like the inverse for this one. The more I look at it, the more I feel like I'm actually gonna nitpick this cover. Like
Do it.
from passing glance, this is fine, but that cannon, honestly, it looks like one of those things that you would put a poster in at a con, like those rolly
Oh
thingies that
yeah.
you as in a backpack.
He was a guest.
Poster tubes. These are
Wait
poster
until you
tubes.
hear
Poster
mine.
tubes.
Man.
There you go. It's I don't know. There's something about this he's too limber and flexible for a robot to be doing something of that nature. It's a weird nitpick, I know,
Yeah.
but it's just yeah. It's a math for me. It's a math for me. I was
Oh,
actually on board until you guys made me go after Mike, and then I started seeing it more. Then I'm like, it went from I'm okay with it, then it went to meh.
I
So
have that effect on people.
yeah, so if this continues, it might go below meh. So we'll see.
oh, that's it. Just
It'll be
below.
eh.
I
You know?
want to hear it
Eh.
more. Come on, see, look. Yes, let the hatred flow through you. Come on. Oh man. And Steve, you went already, correct?
No, I didn't.
No, then come on. Maybe come
This
on.
this 3/4 stance has been done a million times over, and yes, we know it is the superhero landing. It does look like someone is cosplaying Soundwave because it's
with
like
There
a
we go.
rope.
There we go.
It
cardboard
looks like
costume
it
on.
With
looks
cardboard.
it looks like Hulk jumped in that because it's like
Or-
so curvaceous, right? His
or that
muscles are
fun
there.
foam shit that people use to make their.
Yes, dude.
Fun
I think it
foam.
just went from mad to now below.
Because there's not supposed to be like any round like curvature in it. He's a robot, for God's sakes. He's just be blocked. And it just I mean, Mike, thank you for this because when Big Rob sent this, I was like, yeah, this is not so bad. But in looking at it, it's just like, you can't even do it. Steve, give up Transformers after this betrayal.
It,
We're sending them to you, Lord.
it's almost like this cover. It's like it's almost like like when you pick up a food, you have like the 10-second rule if it drops, and then it's almost like this cover. It's like there's like a 10-second rule. Like don't look at it for more than 10
But
seconds,
don't hurt.
otherwise you're gonna start
It
seeing
don't
the
hurt.
imperfections.
In this chance, it does. It does.
It's like don't put it on your wall. It's like yeah, here.
Sorry, Big Rob.
Alright.
This isn't working for me.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks for that one. How about this one here? We have Power Girl #1, and this is by Amanda Connor that you can find at Paper Films. It's LE of 5,000 and $68 for all three. So you get the trade, the Virgin variant, and also the sketch cover. All right, Steve.
Just looking at Mike, just drop his head, man. You already know what he's gonna want to say. I love Amanda Connor's work. I really dig her. I mean, she's a total sweetheart. Her and Jimmy, they're just amazing, good people. Um, and I love them to death. But this is
There's the
not for
butt.
me. Power Girl. I'm not really picking up at this. And this cover, I mean, at $68 at 5,000, that's crazy to me. You're getting these three, but it just, I couldn't do it. And
Okay.
no, that's it. That's all.
All right, Hyper.
This goes back to my whole Wolverine cover situation. The curse of having great covers for certain characters that had like a lineage of better covers. It kind of gives an unfair comparison, I guess, when covers like this show up. Nothing again inherently wrong with it, but $68 is too steep for this, in my opinion. And I'm guessing, so clearly this is a wraparound, right? So those villains are on the back, So it's almost like being a wraparound kind of goes against this cover. I kind of find that having the villains in the back of this cover almost you're like wondering, what the hell is she dodging from? You have to now flip the cover to find out. It's for me the price point alone on this is a deal breaker, and that kind of almost it's a regular cover at best.
Okay. Okay. All right, Mike.
So Paper Films runs these things like Kickstarters.
Mhm.
So I think that's the reason for the price point. You're sort of supporting Paper Films and the book to get printed by making your Kickstarter donation. Then you get these three covers as a result of that. So I think that's the reason for the price point. But when we translate it to the way we look at it, which is $68 for these three covers, we're like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, no, not in a million years. I do like what Trish said and we've said this a lot lately, really get action shots where they're doing something heroic and cool.
Yes, this is
So
it.
I do like that that's happening on this cover. I'm very hit or miss on Amanda Connor's work. Some of it I absolutely adore. Other stuff I can't stand. I think it's like barely interior art worthy. This is borderline interior art worthy, not really cover worthy. I get what they're trying to do. I do love both Jimmy and Amanda. They're great, but I was disappointed to see this pop up on my Kickstarter thing and there not be a Hughes one this time.
Pop, yeah, pop.
Because there usually is one or as well, and there isn't one this time. So sadly, this is a hard pass. I don't think it's bad, and I like that there's action going on, but it just feels like an interior art splash to me.
Okay. And just FYI, I did buy this. I thought it was
Of course
great.
you-
I
Ooh, I'm sorry.
I know, but you know what? I'm not, right? Uh, I dig it. I enjoyed it, the art. I think it's great. I wish I would have gotten some of the remarks that they had that they were selling as well on their site, but I missed
Yeah.
out. But I definitely dig it. But yes, that's why this white space is here. It's to be
a
used by
remark.
artists as a little remark. They can draw stuff on it.
Well, fortunately, you got 3 remarks for
I
this
Oh
do.
cover.
yeah, there
I
was a
do.
Harley cover like that some years back where she's carrying like a blank canvas
Yes.
across the.
Yep.
Yeah, that's super cool too. I like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
That's a great way to do it. I mean, she'll do a remark for you at a con.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm hoping. She will be here in was it Ontario in Ontario, California? I think in May or March or something like that. So I'm looking forward to that.
Cool.
All right. What about this one here? Harley Quinn number 33, and you get it by Natalie Sanders. You can find it at the Four Horsemen, KRS, Mutant Beaver, Eastside Comics, Comic Mint. LE of 3,000 for the trade, 600 for the Virgin variant, and the set will set you back $50. Mike.
Um, I like two things about it. One is that it's not one of those Cosmopolitan magazine covers from Natalie Sanders. So there's one good plus. And I like the overall, um, I don't know, look or rendition of the cover, but it just looks way too digital and smooth to me. Um, I don't understand why. Do do people really like that? I mean, am I really missing something here? Like, is that a cool aesthetic for collectors?
Say that again, Mike.
I'm not being a dick. I look at all these digital covers and I'm constantly turned off by how smooth and shiny everything looks and how video gamey it looks to me. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just like the old, like stay off my lawn guy, but it just doesn't feel like art to me anymore. It feels like literally a video game capture. So, so overall it's a no, but I do at least like that it's a little different from Natalie and it's not one of those Cosmo covers. But this is for $50, no way. And where are the other 400 copies of the Virgin?
Exactly. All right, Steve.
Yeah, too digital for me, man. It just I want to get so far away from AI art or anything like related to that.
Agreed.
Um, to me, I mean, when I'm buying a cover, I'm buying it for like an artist's legacy, an artist's take on a character. And although this does not look like a teenager, and she kind of looks like she's gonna be like talking to Danny Zuko, like Grease version kind of look, it's just too digital for me. It just it doesn't work. Um, and then I don't really like the motif where they give you the trade up close, and then the Virgin like just like a further out version of that. To me, it's like I need a little more and creativity in that sense.
Okay.
Well, it's why we like the Sanford Green cover earlier, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
not really all that complicated. It's really just a few great lines, but it feels like art. It gives me a feeling.
Yes,
It makes
100%.
me, I don't know,
And I
it
love
gives me an
Natalie too.
emotion. This doesn't.
Yeah, I do
Oh,
love
yeah.
her work, but this
She's
one,
perfectly fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's gorgeous.
She is. And her work is good. I mean, she clearly has artistic ability. There's no doubt about it. I just wish she wouldn't render digitally.
Yeah,
All right, Hyper.
agreed.
Hyper.
So, like Mike, I like two things about it, and her arms actually right folded right below it. The actual okay, so again, I'm gonna go back to the price point on this one. Um, I think it's a case where you know, I've been spoiled by seeing a lot of good B covers from Art Germ and Derek Chu from DC and all that, to the point that wrapping my head around paying $50 for something that looks very similar in terms of like the digital aspect of it. Yeah, that part I can't get behind. The cover itself looks fine. It's just again, I with the saturation of similar art for a much lesser price point. For those reasons, I'm gonna pass on just on the price alone. But the cover is, it's okay, but it doesn't stand out because again, it's just been like you guys said, there's a lot of these digital s kind of art floating around, so it's almost like nothing really stands out at this point.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Looks like Mike's putting away his therapy comic.
Yeah, I needed it this time. I was looking at
I haven't used it in a while. I'm actually surprised.
I was looking at how non 9.8 that book is.
All right. How about this one? This one is a facsimile, and this is for the first appearance of Emma and aka the White Queen. We have Uncanny X-Men number 129 by Nathan Zerzi. You can find it at Unknown Antihero and 616 LE. I have no clue, but it's going to set you back $35. Hyper.
Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna say right now, the trade dress kind of f's it up. I found this is a lot better version. It's almost like the trade dress. It's like something. It's like something's out of place. It's like you're putting a classic, clearly that Claremont esque trade dress thing going on with, this modern art. It does, those two things don't jive. It's almost like you kind of you're forced to buy the virgin cover because when you buy the trade dress on this one, it just doesn't. There's a clash in styles, I find. But the virgin cover alone, it looks great. So, but yeah, it's just something about that trade dress that kind of throws me off.
Okay, okay. Mike?
So yeah, I agree about the trade dress thing. The two styles just don't go together, and I don't mind the art on its own as a virgin. Zerdy, Zerdy, the one where he pays attention to textures and things, like this one, and then the ones where they all just sort of look smooth and kind of meh. This one's okay to me. This is sort of in the middle. There's some great textural stuff going on in the costume, but not so much in the skin and the face and stuff like that. So it's weird, kind of a weird mixture of things. Proportions seem a little strange to me. I'm sure it's sort of a foreshortening thing, or the angle that we're supposed to be like looking up from her crotch kind of a thing to the rest of her, which is a sort of interesting, but it looks a little bit too smooth and digital for me to love. But Zerdy does have some great covers. I think I would pass on this. The price point's not bad though. Is that for the set?
That is for the set, sir.
It's not so terrible, to be honest with you, especially when we see one before it that was 50.
Yeah.
So, but again, I agree with Hyper on the fact that the Claremont era trade dress doesn't work on what is clearly a very modern piece of art.
All right, Steve.
I would agree. If you were going to do the trade dress, make it look like how your cover looks like. I mean, kind of give it a newer spin to it. But yeah, I feel like the virgin art is better than the trade dress on this one. You could have totally did without. And then the other thing I noticed that 78 pointed was the curtain. Like it doesn't even look like she's coming out of the curtain. It looks like she's just there, placed where you're lying. I mean, where what Mike said, your vision is going upward. It's where you're laying, Mike. That's the whole perspective that you're getting here.
If only.
Yeah, I mean, I'm God willing.
So I'm just to kind of add my 2 cents to this as well. I mean, I agree with you guys totally, but I feel like he created this digital art and copied and pasted Emma Frost and just kind of put it on some to coin Big Rob's like clip art curtain, because like the curtain doesn't even go all the way up. It's like, oh, I'm just
I didn't
gonna
notice
put
that.
her here on this curtain, and it's like, oops, I forgot to make the curtain longer or do something with it. But I feel like she's kind of like superimposed
There's
on
a
this
curtain.
background. Yeah.
That's what 78 said. He's like, some will ask, there's a curtain.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
think
not.
that's
I'm
just them being lazy and just simply removing the trade dress and leaving the crop exactly the way it was, which is
yes.
almost more offensive. Like, really, you couldn't have blown up the background a little bit for us on that one? Like,
Yep.
Mhm.
it would have killed you. The extra
Mhm.
5 seconds it would have taken.
I honestly didn't even realize about curtain until Alonso just brought it up. It's like, oh,
Yeah. I mean, like,
10
what
second
is
rule
this?
on this
yeah, the
Yeah, what
10
is this
second rule.
blackface?
cover
You know,
too.
but
I
I
love
do
it.
like the face. I like the face, but that's it. That's the only thing that this cover has going, at least for me. All right, and I believe that does it for our store exclusives,
Oh my
gentlemen.
god.
Again, thank you for making it through. Definitely appreciate you guys. Same thing with the chat. All right, Hyper. You are a guest on a show. We loved having you. Where can people find you?
All right, well, first off, I just want to give my flowers to Team Nerd Herd. Been on your show a couple times. First time on Cover Lovers. And Mike, first time sharing the screen with me. I told you backstage I have read your articles before on CBSI, so definitely a fan of your work. So pleasure sharing the screen with you.
Thank you.
Um, but yeah, in terms of what I have going on, I'm mainly on two platforms. Instagram, my handle is hyper.combo.comics. I mainly just post stuff that I find on the hunt and just stuff in my collection that I just I'm proud to kind of show off. And then in terms of YouTube, I am starting to branch out a bit more into YouTube. Um, I should be doing my fourth live. I've had this YouTube channel for 3 years, and I'm only just doing my fourth live, possibly next week. With my buddy Black Crown. It's a interesting concept that we're gonna be doing. I'm not gonna reveal it yet, but I think it'll be a fun show. That'll be some point next week. I'll definitely drop the news on my IG once it's made official. But other than that, and I'm also on the comic Kingpins, although not as frequently just because of scheduling and work. But yeah, but my main two platforms are IG and YouTube.
All
So
right, and we
appreciate you
did
guys.
drop. Yeah, we did drop hyperlinks right there in the chat. So make sure to sub him up on Instagram if you haven't already, and definitely on his YouTube channel. I mean, he's got some new things coming. And again, you can find him also on was it Comic Kingpins,
Yes,
as
sir.
well as like with Black. Oh my God, Black
Black
BCC,
Crown
background
Comics.
comics, baby.
Black Crown Comics. Thank you.
It
It's like
rolls off the tongue, man. Come on.
Oh, Alonso, I do want to mention one thing. I do want to mention one thing about the channel.
go for it.
I am also starting to put out some gaming content as well. If you guys are into that thing, I've been putting small Street Fighter clips. I'm gonna start adding commentary to those, and I'm waiting for my collector's edition of Mortal Kombat 1 to come out at some point this week, so I can start uploading MK content as well. So yeah, that's gonna be another venture I'm gonna kind of dabble into gaming slash commentary on, my matches. So yeah.
Yo, and
Oh hell yeah.
hyper. When he says hunt, he means hunt. This guy's been on a tear, dude. Just picking covers up.
Yeah, Mike, I'll show you some of the story. Some of these guys already know some of the my steals that I found. I'll share backstage about
Jeez.
some of my
Awesome.
criminal finds.
Oh yeah. All right, thanks a lot, Hyper. Again, guys, on in the chat and also watching on the replay, make sure to give Hyper a follow, man. I mean, he's a great guy in the community, and he's just also an all-around just nice guy. I love hanging out with Hyper, so definitely give him a follow. All right, and Mike, where can we find you?
You can find me on the the ever controversial CBSI. That's comicbookinvest.com. Every Tuesday, late morning, early afternoon for cover fire. And I got to say, this week is a really great week for just regular. So I think I froze. Am I unfrozen?
You're
I think I'm
unfrozen.
unfrozen.
You're good, brother.
This is a really great week on Cover Fire for regularly priced cover. So make sure you check it out this week. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how little you can spend and get some beautiful stuff in your collections. And then you can also find old issues of Cover Tunes. I wrote 210 of them before I took a little bit of a pause. I will be getting back to that at some point soon. So please head over to CBSI. That's comicbookinvest.com to check out my work and everybody else who works really hard to who work.
Yep.
Am I back? Who work really hard to get content out to you every week. So thanks, guys.
Yep. And I'm sure the number one comic for this week is going to be that Perillo for Red Sonja, right?
Yes, although I couldn't help but give it a tie with the Middleton because they're both so gorgeous.
Oh, I like that. I like it. All right, all right. Again, gentlemen, people in the chat, thank you guys so much. People watching the replay, definitely appreciate you guys. Mike, can we first of all get a little disclaimer before we jump into our sponsors again?
No artists were actually harmed
None.
during the making. Did that come through? I'm freezing a lot. I'm so
I
sorry.
know. Say it again really fast.
All right. No artists were harmed in the making of this podcast, and that's actually true this week.
No black eyes, no bruises.
Yep.
Nobody got maimed.
I was
That's
too
right. That's
nice
right.
this week.
You know what? It's because Hyper. I didn't want to scare Hyper off. You know, and then
Actually, Alonzo, funny thing is, I was telling Steve, okay, so I guess we're going to be roasting some covers. To be honest, like these picks actually were, I didn't go too hard as I thought I would. So yeah.
really,
We'll have to get
okay.
you back on a worse week.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what? How about we just
Burn
put
to
one
flame.
here, just really quickly. Just okay, Hyper. What are your thoughts on these ones right here?
Ooh, okay, all right. This is more up my alley. You know what the thing about these covers is, I know both these guys' previous work, and I've seen them do better. Maliv especially, I don't know what's going on with that Wolverine. It's almost like he's trying to mimic Sinkowitz, but he didn't quite stick the landing.
Well said.
Yes.
You ain't
And in
lying.
terms of the Inyakui, this is almost getting a bit borderline. That ASM 300 homage, that Hulk 181 homage is starting to get a bit tiresome for me. And look, I'm a fan. I'm a Wolverine fan, but I don't know. I'm starting to get a bit like these homages are starting to feel a bit uninspired. Like, contrast to that, that Adam Hughes Harley Quinn homage, which I don't see often. I can respect that. This one, yeah, I'm not buying it. And especially when you're telling me that these are 1 in 25, 1 in 50, and 1 in 100s. Yeah, no bueno.
Oh, bueno. Okay. Okay. And let's see. What else do we got that was kind of pretty bad?
I was like trying to make up for.
No. You know what? It's late. It's late. But you get the gist. I mean, there's
Yeah.
some. I just wanted to make sure that
I'm glad you took all those out. Those
I
were
took
not-
some of the ones that were pretty
dude.
bad, like out. I was just like, you
there
know
was
what?
some bad shit in there.
Dude, I wanted to freaking pull this Vampirella cover right back up.
Yeah,
Exactly.
seriously.
All right. Again, quick shout out to our sponsors. Cover price. Make sure to use Nerdvana 14 for 30 days of unlimited cover price for 99 cents. And don't forget, over at Bird City Comics, use TNH10 to save yourself 10%. And if you are a display geek, head over to displaygeek.com and get your a nice little shelving, boxes and whatnot for your toys or collectibles. Don't forget to use Team Nerd Herd to save 10% off your first purchase over at displaygeek.com. All right, and Steve, can you please take us out tonight?
You want to do it right? Be a cover lover whore for life. Good evening and have a great night, y'all. Take
Thanks,
care.
everybody.
Peace.